Gotta put my chapstick on. I always forget this.
All right, we'll wait for the chapstick.
All right.
Welcome to the Jarick and Dan show. My name's Dan Fitzgerald.
My name is Jarick Walker. I didn't forget. Jarick is still going. Super happy to be here, guys. Lovely weather outside. You can't see it, but I'm sure you can feel it.
It's February. A lot has happened since our last episode of the Jarick and Dan show. Our goal here is always to give you a behind-the-scenes perspective on all things heartbreak and some of our favorite things, and also some total nonsense, I think.
Yeah,
so,
it's all about nonsense.
Lots of things have happened. It's Valentine's Day week. We had our team, as you may know, is the Heartbreakers. I guess two things of note with the Heartbreakers. We were the USATF New England Club of the Year, which I'm very proud of as the founder of the Heartbreakers.
That's real glass, y'all.
This is real glass. My dad's a glass guy. I recognize glass when I touch it and hear it.
I didn't know you could tint it like that. That's blue. It's like a royal blue on the side. It's really nice.
Yeah. From guys like Lou, our captain, who's a 2:16 marathoner and a two-time road racing series champion in New England, all the way down to we have runners running in the 5-hour range. So it's a unique club for that reason, and a really special thing to be honored by the governing body of our sport. We have a new blog series. This new series is called First Timers, and we wanted to offer a perspective on first-time attempts at Boston, and in that we have three cases. We have Amanda Nurse has run Boston many times, but it's her first time running in the elite field, so she will be officially entered in the elite field. She's an Olympic trialist. She started her marathon journey with the Dana-Farber team and has improved remarkably since her first attempt, I think 8 years ago, and this will be her first year in the elite field. She has a PR of 2:40, so we're really excited to see how she does this year in Boston. Second, we have Lou Serafini. I just mentioned him, but he's our team captain. He has also entered into the elite field. He ran Boston a few years back as his first ever marathon, and had that sort of youthful, I'll say it, Lou. I'll apologize ahead of time. He had that youthful arrogance about the attempt, where people that run a lot of 20-milers think like, I got this, and it came back at him hard. He finished and ran a very solid time for anybody in the world, but not quite to his potential. And he has since really improved his marathon. We've got a PR of 2:16, which is remarkable, and we're really excited to see how he can re-engage here at Boston. And then there's this third guy, Jarick Walker. He is running his first ever marathon and first ever Boston there, obviously by default if he has not run a marathon. Yeah, so you'll be hearing from them on the blog via written word, but is there anything you'd like to talk about as a first timer who started training, what was it, 3 hours ago?
Yeah, about 3 hours ago, give or take a couple minutes. You know, one thing that I can assure you on my end, there will be no youthful arrogance. I am going into this thing as, ideally a little bit more ready, but I'm just, honestly, I'm excited. I'm not even nervous yet. I don't think I'll be nervous till I get to Hopkinton, but that's just how I operate. Honestly, I really hope that, I can control all bowel movements throughout the race. That's literally right now the biggest thing I'm concerned about.
Those are those things you can't coach that.
Yeah,
as a marathon coach to 500 runners.
I was gonna ask.
You got to work on your food.
So it's like a personal thing.
Yeah, you got to. There's some work around that, adjusting. You want to talk about how you got your bib and what your relationship to the race is?
Absolutely. So it was, before that, high fiber, low fiber diet.
I would go maybe a little low fiber.
Low fiber. Day, yeah. All right. So no more.
You don't want to give any extra help.
I'm doing a lot of wheat thins. Okay, I'm gonna have to put those away. I'm super excited to run Boston Marathon this year. I told myself that I would do it. I told myself when we talked about goals, I said I was gonna run a marathon this year. I didn't think it was gonna be this quick. Got the opportunity to run on behalf of UNICEF, and one all about the kids. So I think that was probably the best organization that I could run for. I am training, even though it started about 3 hours ago. But hey, y'all, I'm gonna get through it. And hopefully y'all are there to cheer me on. Also help me raise money. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna get it down. Dan's been helping me out too. So if things don't go well, we'll just blame this guy. That's a lot of pressure.
We made Jarick a little plan. Created a little logo for him. Number 37 tackles Boston. As you know, Jarick is a former baller, BC footballer. So
bow.
Amazing day to be a part of here in the city of Boston, and across the region, across the country. It's really one of the best races in the world. So I'm excited for you to experience it yourself, and we're excited to follow your progress on the blog. Speaking of football and ballers, we had the Super Bowl this couple weeks ago.
What a game!
We were both down there in Houston. You were there on work, and I was there, invited by. Big shout out to my friend Armin, and for bringing me down there. We had front row seats to the game, which was pretty amazing.
I didn't know you were front row.
That was actually, people thought I climbed down there to take the photos that I took. That was just, I just turned around, and it was almost embarrassing.
I thought you walked down.
Nope, they don't let you get there unless your ticket says row A.
Wow,
it was amazing. How did you like the game being there?
I can't lie, I'm a little mad at you, and it's not your fault. It's not, but I'm petty. I was in Houston, like Dan said, and I literally left the morning of Super Bowl, so I didn't watch it in Houston. I was so close. I was like, somebody give a brother a ticket, and and like all throughout the week I was in Houston, I kept mentioning how big of a Patriots fan I was and how great this game was gonna be, and I'd and no. I didn't go. Dan hits me up like, "Hey, I'm going to the game." And I was
coming down to Houston.
I was like, "I'm not." So I can't believe it. So I did live vicariously through you. I have to go back to the pictures now, so I didn't know that you were I literally thought, I was like, he walked down to take pictures.
It was so embarrassing. I actually was getting a little shaky as I was walking down there. We were at row Q, and Armin looks back at me, and I felt very close there, and he's like, "This is only Q." And I was like,
wow.
We get down there, and there were 2 empty seats right there. I could put my drinks right here. If they fell down, they would have fallen on a reporter or Donatella Versace or any of the other luminaries. I could have hit Lady Gaga with my beer.
Wow.
I saw everybody right there. It was crazy. Shannon Sharp, depend who I'd want to hit with I wouldn't want to hit Shannon Sharp with my beer.
No, don't hit him.
But it was really cool to see everybody up close, and see the game right there was. It was a really special moment. Also happening around town here and around Heartbreak, we had the Heartbreaker Love Fest. I felt like it's been a major miss for my team, the Heartbreakers, to not own Valentine's Day with the heart logo. It seemed so silly. So I decided to throw a Heartbreaker Love Fest since Valentine's Day fell on the same day that we host our team practice on Tuesday nights.
Bang.
And figured we'd throw a party. So we had CloudCap Photo Booth company here, Josh Campbell, photographer for NRC, and his wife Maritza started a company called CloudCap Photo Booth, and they did a really great job. We have some great photos that are shared on social media, and we had a lot of harpoon flowing, so we did a couple classes. I tested out my new class series on the Heartbreakers, as I like to do, to make sure that they're safe for the public. And then we drank a lot of harpoon, and then there was a dance party forming out in the studio, and I said, or in the store, and I said, "Guys, the sound system out here is weak. Let's go in the studio." So they pulled off their own Jamiroquai style treadmill dance party, which could have been the most expensive beer spilling accident ever, but we succeeded. It was a great party, really fun time. So with it Valentine's Day week, we thought maybe we'd share a couple love tips. Jarick has a solid love tip.
Yeah, I got in my time in life, I've just been around love so much, and as we enter the future, there's just love is a lot more digital. I find, and for those of you that use apps to meet each other, for example, Tinder. This can work for males and females. I'm gonna give you a little tip on how you can, really match or connect with that person that you swipe right on. Sometimes you might swipe right on somebody and they might not swipe for you, right? And doesn't necessarily mean you guys, wouldn't connect. And so I believe in making another try. And so swipe right on them, they don't swipe right on you, give it a day, okay? You don't see a match pop up, go back, and check their Instagram. Slide them a DM. But here's the thing, when you slide them a DM, you don't say words. Literally take a picture of nothing, just like darkness. So it'll just be a black square, and put in their DMs. They're gonna respond, and it could start something great.
Wow. All right. So, Jarick, are you single?
Yes, I am.
Totally screwed you up.
Yeah, I was like,
You want to re-record that one?
when you asked, I was like, oh shit.
We could have you sit down for a second. Just sit down. So, Jarick, you're single, right?
It's private.
And so Valentine's Day. So, Jarick, you're single, right?
I like to keep my relationship status private.
And Jarick, are you single? You single?
You know what?
I didn't mean that as an accusation.
I know. It's such a...
I just wanted it to contrast. So I didn't have Tinder when I was a single person. So my Valentine's Day or love tip was, if I'm gonna host a party for the Heartbreakers on Valentine's Day night, I better do my job as a husband. So I shoveled the car.
Have to.
I went to a doctor's appointment. We had a nice lunch. So. Two sides to that coin. One side, you can, swipe right and then send them a creepy DM on Instagram as a follow-up, or potentially, for those of you in a relationship, you can go the extra mile and be supportive, be helpful, whatever suits your style.
You got it. I mean, you have to do your due diligence.
Is there a follow-up after you send the photo of darkness? Do you send a red photo?
Well, if they don't respond to the black photo, just take the L. You lost that one. Yeah, you lost that one. I'm sorry, but listen, you gotta make a second try. By the way, my relationship status, let's erase that I answered your question. It's private.
It's private.
I live a private lifestyle.
All right.
And you don't have an answer to Dan's question earlier.
There's not an answer to that question. We're gonna amend that.
Been amended.
All right, so let's talk about some real running tips. We have a running studio here where we try to help people get stronger, better, faster, more injury resistant. That's our main job around here. As you're training for the marathon, and as my programs are in week 11 now of 20, I get a lot of people who've run a lot of miles, and they start to get real nervous. And I talk about the value of preventative maintenance a lot, where if you have the luxury of time in your life and can get over to see a PT with a sore knee, it's better to get in there early than it is to wait for it to really hurt, not be able to walk. So really value preventative maintenance. For many people, running the Boston Marathon is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So spend the extra dollars to go see a PT, spend the extra time in your life to get that done. So that's my preventative maintenance tip. Get that done.
Yeah.
Something else I get a lot of questions about with regard to the marathon is if something hurts, what can you do to salvage your training?
Put some ice on it.
Put some ice on it. It's always put some ice on it when you're done. But if you're banged up, you can hit the bike, hit the elliptical, hit the pool, do some aqua jogging, and then I call it hybrid training, where I like to go for, say, if your assignment that day is 6 miles and that's going to take you 1 hour, I would do various cardiovascular boredom creation machines like the stationary bike or the elliptical. I can only handle about 10 minutes at a time on those things, so I'll go back and forth, and I'll try to do it. If 6 miles was going to take someone an hour, then I might go either an hour to an hour 15 minutes or so. And then if you can run, if you can do a little bit, maybe like a half mile, just to get those running legs back. So that way you're really salvaging your cardiovascular fitness and staying on top of everything. So I call that hybrid training, a little mix of bunch of things and then a little bit of running and just keep those legs active.
Tricks to the trade.
Those are the tricks. Those are the things that will eliminate the pounding and still allow you to be a force out there.
That's good.
I also got a question recently about how to run with a cold.
So like,
someone had a cold and they told me they took a week off and were reevaluating.
Just get your butt outside. Like, it's a cold. Gosh dang it.
All right. You are also a professional coach. Sometimes I might give myself a day off if I have a cold, but then you got work to do. This is a team of running. You're a team of one.
Yeah.
You got to get on your.
The game doesn't stop.
Right.
The game doesn't stop. You got to play. And the good thing about concrete is it absorbs snot.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Do you have any other tips about concrete or?
No, that's all I really know about concrete, really. But
All right, so we also have a segment on the Jarick and Dan Show where we have 3 awards. Our 3 awards are the Participation Medal, the King of the Hill, and the Laurel Wreath. So our Participation Medal goes to, I'm going to give it to Taylor Swift for her participation in my Super Bowl weekend experience. She put on a great show. Those of you who have gone to a Nike Plus Run Club session at the indoor track, I launched that here in Boston in February 2015, I think.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, when her album. What's the name of the album? We played that every track warm up because I knew it didn't have any offensive lyrics, as can sometimes be the case with our playlists.
can't go wrong with Taylor.
So it couldn't go wrong with Taylor. It was perfect. So it was great to see her live at a private performance at the Super Bowl. I'd say it was a Super Bowl of concerts. So we're gonna give her a participation medal for that.
T Swift, thank you for your participation.
If you want to reach out and be on the show, we can honor you with the participation medal. That's up to you, Taylor.
Literally.
You can have your people reach our people.
You could literally be our first guest.
All right, our King of the Hill this week. It was Valentine's Day week, and a big meet every year at Boston University is the Valentine Invitational. Galen Rupp has flown in for that. He set the facility standard over there, so it gets a lot of high-profile athletes from around the country, sometimes around the world. Andrew Weeding, Nike athlete, was there this year, former Olympian.
Love that guy.
Yep, he's a good dude. He was there. He ran the 1,000. The premier race, as far as our club was concerned, was the men's 5K. Before I get to that, I will give a huge shout out to a lot of Heartbreakers ran very fast there. We had guys running 406, 408, 407. And 412. We had a new gal named Haley who really is just discovering her running potential. I think she ran her first indoor mile ever at this race, and she ran 5:03. We had a new gal, potential team member, run quite fast, and we had Kate. Kate ran 2:49 in the 1,000, beat only by 2 professionals. So it was an incredible meet for the team. Really exciting thing to be a part of. But the King of the Hill was our captain, Lou Serafini. Shout out to Lou. Lou ran 5,000 meters in, I believe, 13:56. I should have known that when I awarded him the King of the Hill. The important thing is that he ran the last lap in 27 seconds. He took a 30-meter gap and turned it into a 20-meter lead. So he was basically in third, and within 300 meters, took down the entire field and put on a giant gap. It was a very commanding performance. You can watch that on our social media, Heartbreakers RC on Instagram. It's also going to be on Heartbreak Hill Run Co. Heartbreak Run Co. on Instagram, or Coach Dan Boss. My Instagram will also have that eventually when I feel like pumping it. It was an incredible feat.
Yeah, Lou. You know how many little things you could do in 14 minutes? He ran a 5K. My goodness.
I can't even post one damn Instagram in 14 minutes.
You can't even watch a sitcom.
Can't even watch a sitcom.
In that little time. Now we have the Laurel Wreath. Top award goes to Bill Belichick. Honestly, I think I would say that's arguably the best Super Bowl of all time. In all my life of watching football, I've never seen a team come back from such a deficit, 25-point deficit, keep their head in the game, and come back to take it in overtime. That is something that starts from the top, from the coach, and leading his players to do something amazing like that. So I get the chills, man. Patriots.
I know. Everyone knows here in Boston and around the world that the Patriots are America's team, the most beloved team in America.
They sure
are.
It's
really, I think the whole country is unified and excited about one thing, the greatness of the New England Patriots and of Coach Bill Belichick. So we're excited on behalf of the NFL, and Roger Goodell, I think, is really happy about it. And generally, excited. All football fans everywhere hugely proud of the New England Patriots and what they represent. So we're excited too. That's why the Laurel Wreath goes to Coach Bill Belichick.
Every time you wear red, white, and blue, you're wearing the colors of America's team.
That's right. I think that's the finish line of the Jarick and Dan show. Mm-hmm. We have one tip, I think, from Jarick before we get to the real finish line, but we always like to hear from Jarick, and what his tip might be. I think last week he mentioned, if you're cold, to stand behind your television and read a book. That's a great way to warm up before you go outside,
Absolutely.
go on a run. So occasionally we'll throw an asterisk up if it's
If it gets crazy.
if it needs an asterisk,
Yeah.
but usually they're pretty solid tips. What do you got, Jarick?
First of all, asterisk is like a star, so there's nothing wrong with it. So in my life of insights and just doing things, I've learned a lot. And tip of the week this week is how to have traction outside when it's icy. And so what you want to do is grab Skippy peanut butter, extra chunky, and rub it on the outsole of your shoe. I would do about 5 rubs, and then just get out there, and you will have traction. You asked about earlier if I had any other tips about concrete and the chunky nuts in the Skippy peanut butter produce a lot of friction, so you'll have a lot of traction.
There you have it, folks. That is Jarick's tip of the week. This is the Jarick and Dan Show. We have reached the finish line. You can find Coach Jarick Walker and myself here in the studio various times. Go to heartbreakhillrunningcompany.com to check that out, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Because I know sometimes if you don't hit the right button, it just stops recording. Or just, I see the red button here on this camera, but I feel like that wouldn't be right. It's just red flash.
Keith, there's not a red button. Give me a break. Maybe that's a red button, but I'm not touching it. We're the town.
I'm trying to mess this up, man.